Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, who am I really becoming? Most people never do. We drift through years reacting to life instead of consciously shaping it. But one day, often around midlife, the question hits you like a mirror shattering. You look back and realize that many of the choices you made as a teenager and young adult still echo through your life today. Every decision leaves an imprint. The habits, addictions, distractions, and desires of youth become the subconscious patterns that dictate adulthood. Most people don't even see the strings that move them. But if you're honest with yourself, you'll begin to notice the recurring loops, the emotional triggers, the cycles of pleasure and regret, the familiar patterns in relationships or work. The truth is, you've been programmed not by a machine, but by the decisions you made when your brain was still forming, by the friends you hung out with, the substances you tried, the temptations you entertained, the people you chased. And yet, there's hope, because awareness is the first step toward transformation. The mind can be renewed, but only if you have the courage to face the old self and question who you've been. Ask yourself, what patterns am I still carrying from my teenage years? What parts of me stopped growing long ago? What would my future look like if I actually became the person I was meant to be, not the person I defaulted into becoming? You can't go back in time, but you can face the truth of your past. And when you do, the path to redemption begins with 3 core lessons every young man and every grown man must eventually learn: sobriety, purity, and purpose. We live in a world that celebrates intoxication. People chase dopamine highs through alcohol, weed, sex, food, and endless digital distraction. But here's the paradox. The more we chase feeling good, the more empty we become. The same substances that promise freedom end up enslaving us. Sobriety isn't just about drugs or alcohol. It's about being fully awake. It's about protecting the one thing that separates humans from animals: a clear and disciplined mind. Science confirms what ancient wisdom already knew. The younger you start dulling your mind, the more damage you cause to your future self. Substances like alcohol and marijuana don't just alter your mood, they stunt your development. They keep your brain, your emotions, and your judgment stuck at the age when you first started using them. That's why so many grown men walk through life acting like teenage boys. They can talk about deep things but still chase shallow pleasures. They can succeed professionally but collapse morally. The body ages, but the mind never matures. True strength isn't in how much you can consume. It's in how much you can resist. Sobriety is the foundation of spiritual power, because only a sober mind can discern truth from deception. Only a clear mind can hear the still, small voice of God. The Bible says, "Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy the devil prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour." 1 Peter 5:8. Think about that for a moment. A clouded mind is the devil's playground. A distracted mind is his open door. So the question is, what are you allowing to dull your discernment? What habits are keeping your spirit asleep? If you truly desire to become the man God intended, it starts with clarity, mental, emotional, and spiritual. A sober mind paves the way to a pure heart. The second great lesson is purity. Modern culture mocks purity. It calls it old-fashioned, repressive, even laughable. But impurity is what kills intimacy, authenticity, and love. We've been conditioned to believe that freedom means indulgence, that exploring every desire somehow makes us whole. But in reality, indulgence fragments the soul. Every hookup, every empty encounter, every porn session trains the brain to separate pleasure from connection. And over time, you lose the ability to feel true love. When you give your body away casually, you give away pieces of your spirit. What's left is the illusion of confidence masking the reality of loneliness. You can have 100 lovers and still die alone inside. Sex is sacred. It's the most powerful form of energy transfer between two people, the literal merging of body, mind, and spirit. When used within divine order, it creates life and deepens love. But when used recklessly, it destroys identity and numbs the heart. The irony is that many who live in sexual freedom end up emotionally imprisoned. They lose the ability to bond. They lose the reverence for commitment. They lose the sacred understanding of what it means to truly be one flesh. Jesus said, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." You can't see truth through the fog of lust. You can't hear divine wisdom while being ruled by appetite. Ask yourself, have I been seeking pleasure or purpose? Do I crave connection or control? What if purity isn't repression, but liberation from addiction disguised as desire? True intimacy begins when the soul is no longer enslaved to the flesh. The third and final lesson is purpose. Without purpose, even the strongest man becomes lost. He may have talent, ambition, or intelligence, but without direction, all of it becomes noise. The modern world teaches young men to chase experiences instead of mastery, to prioritize comfort over calling. But life isn't about what feels good, it's about what endures. Purpose gives suffering meaning. It transforms pain into progress and discipline into destiny. When you live with purpose, every challenge becomes a classroom, every loss a lesson, and every delay a divine setup. Ask yourself, what are my natural strengths? What ignites my passion? What would I dedicate my life to mastering if money didn't matter? If you can answer those questions honestly, and then build your life around that purpose, you'll walk in alignment with God's design for you. The pursuit of mastery is not about achieving perfection, it's about becoming a better steward of your gifts. You were never meant to drift, you were meant to build, to lead, to create. And yet here's the paradox. Purpose doesn't begin with a 5-year plan, it begins with surrender. Because only when you align your will with God's will does true direction emerge. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. Proverbs 16:3. So choose to live differently. Be sober in mind, pure in heart, and anchored in purpose. You don't need to go back and fix your past. You just need to stop repeating it. You can't become who you were meant to be if you keep living like who you used to be. Let the old self die. Let the new one rise. And if this message stirred something inside you, if it reminded you of who you truly are beneath the noise, then share it. Help someone else wake up before it's too late. Because the future is shaped not by the mistakes of our youth, but by the courage to change right now. Join me in the next video by subscribing to the channel. Together, let's shift the collective consciousness into one of critical thinking and truth-seeking.